Hello everybody, welcome back to Box Check. Today we have the 2013 Jeep Patriot back in the garage. This is the trainer that I got from my daughter. The problem that we've been having the past few weeks is a red oil pressure light's been coming on. And typically when this comes on is after the engine is warm, and it's kind of intermittent. Doesn't always happen, but when the engine is warm and low RPM. So we have changed the oil and the oil filter just to rule that out. That is not the culprit. And I believe the culprit is actually this part right here. This is an oil pressure switch, and it's a little bit challenging to get to, so that's why we're doing this video. I'm going to show you how. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is disconnect this battery. I'll tell you why later on in the video. After that, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually put the front of the vehicle on jack stands. And you want both of these front tires off the ground. And the main reason why is to give you some space, but also you need to remove this front passenger tire. After you remove that front passenger tire, there is a splash guard underneath the vehicle. You're going to need to remove that splash guard. I believe it takes 10 millimeter, as well as some snaps on the side. There's also a splash guard that runs in the forward part of this wheel well. There's a little bit of a crease, so like you can see that I've got this one bent back. And also it's tied off, so that's out of the way. And once you do have this out of your way, this is going to give you a little bit more space to work in this area. You're going to need to disengage the tension from the belt, and you're actually going to remove 3 bolts that's holding this. I'm sorry there's no light right here, but there's a compressor right here. You need to disconnect that compressor, and really you're just going to move it to the side. So I've got this one tied off right here where there's no pressure on it. And you need that space to be able to remove this next part. This is the oil filter housing. This is what the oil filter would thread into. So I've obviously removed the oil filter. And this is 4 half-inch bolts. 3 of these bolts are easy to get to, but the 4th one is very challenging. That's why you have to move that compressor. Now, once you have all this completed, you can actually access this part right here. Like I said, it is tough, but stay tuned. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions. Okay, I'm going to narrate from this point forward. Now, later on in the video, I am going to give you very detailed instructions to include torque values, but the first thing you want to do, disconnect this battery. This is a 10 millimeter. Just disconnect both connections, move them to the side where they're not making contact. Then after that, we are going to remove this front passenger tire. This is a 19 millimeter. And once you have that front passenger tire removed, it gives you a little bit of space to get these little pins out. So the center comes out, and then you can use a body clip to remove the remaining portion. Underneath, there are 6 10 millimeter bolts that hold this little splash guard. This is the one that's underneath the vehicle. Okay, now that the splash guard is out of the way, I'm going to switch over to a tiny action camera just to give you an idea of all the stuff that's in the way. For perspective, this is the front bumper, there's the oil filter, and this camera, I just want you to know, it's only about 2 inches by 1.5 inches, but there's the oil pressure switch. There is no way you can get to it without removing these things. So we got this oil filter and the housing in the way, as well as this compressor. Now, the first thing I'm going to start with, let's go ahead and get this oil filter out of the way and let that start draining. It takes a minute to get all the drips out of the way. So now I'm working on this front passenger wheel well. You can see there's kind of a crease, a fault line, if you will, in that, and that's going to help you bend that out of the way. But this is 3 body clips, and there's also 3 little 9/32 bolts or screws. And at this point, you can actually get it out from that little lip, that metal lip, and then fold it up. And I use some wire just to get it out of the way, hold it up. And now what you're going to do, this gives you some space where you can use a 5/8 inch wrench. You're going to go to the tensioner pulley. Now, as you can see, I'm using 2 wrenches on top of each other just to give more leverage, but just make sure it's locked on there really good, because the last thing you want is that thing to snap back in. It's horrible when it happens, but But this is going to give you, you're going to relieve the pressure where you can get that belt off of that compressor, because that compressor is what we're going after next. So the compressor actually uses 3 1/2-inch bolts. In this case right here, I've got a ratchet on there, and I'm using a wrench just to grab some leverage on that to get the bolt broken, but 3 fairly long 1/2-inch bolts. So you're going to use a mixture of sockets and wrenches, and thankfully I have a ratchet wrench. Those things are priceless. Especially in that tight space. You can see that whenever I'm moving my hand, it's actually turning the wheel too. So, and some of these, you can't actually get the socket and ratchet in there. So, ratcheting wrenches come in handy. All right, now I'm working on, so that was 2 of the 1/2-inch bolts that you can access from the wheel well. This one right here, you can only really access it from underneath. And that's another reason we move that oil filter, because it's kind of in your way. But once you get these 3 bolts out, you can actually move this compressor over to the side. You can see that little wire. I've got it tied off where there's no pressure. So it gives us a little bit of space to work on this next part. Now this is the oil filter housing. Again, 1/2-inch bolts. So I'm using a 1/2-inch socket and ratchet right here. And I'm just kind of getting this one broke loose. But then I'm going to go after some of the harder ones, and those are the ones on top. Get creative. You know, I think one of them I had to use a deep well socket just because, you know, the distance between where the bolt is and the rest of the parts. But get creative. They're all 1/2-inch. There's 4 of them. But eventually you can, you know, get them loose and then work them out by hand. Now, anytime I'm taking off parts like this one right here has 4 bolts, I always leave the easiest one for last. Now, this oil filter housing, that's just what I'm calling it, there is kind of a plastic or rubbery seal separating that from the engine casing there. And I want to make sure that I don't mar that up. So I'm purposely leaving the easiest bolt for last. That way I can hold on to it and get it off there without it swinging around. Okay, so I'm going to stop the screen on this image just for a moment to show you something. Notice the lime green plug. So this is what's actually plugged into the oil pressure switch. But before you try to take this off, notice that little red tab. Get a tool and you're going to disengage this little red tab. After you get that red tab disengaged, then you can reach up and unplug it from the sensor. Now, just below, something else I'm going to show you is there's a little wire bundle. And if you will remove the power wire from that accessory part, you can move that wire bundle to the side, and it makes it a little bit easier, and that's what you're going to see next. So I'm actually using a flathead screwdriver. I bent the flathead part where it's got a curl, but I'm working that red pin out. And just to give me some more room, I'm going to disconnect this power wire. It's a hot wire going to one of those accessory parts. That's why we disconnected the battery. But that kind of allows you to move that bundle to the side, and then you could actually get your hand up in there and disconnect that socket. So now I've got a special socket. This is a 1 1/16 or 27 millimeter oil sensor socket. I ordered it off Amazon. I think it was like, you know, $10 to $12 just for this job, but it fit on there perfect. It was actually great. So I put the socket on there first and then attach the ratchet to the socket, and then eventually you can get that out by hand. So oil pressure sensor's out. This is the oil pressure switch. So I have this one removed, and of course you can see right here I've got the new one. And upon removing this, there is kind of an oil slick that I see inside, and I'm wondering if that fouled this out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this syringe loaded with some 91% alcohol, and I'm just going to squirt some up in the actual plug that goes into this just to remove any residual oil. So upon inspection of this new one, it looks exactly like the old one. The only difference is this little port is just a tiny bit smaller. But this was rather cheap. I got it from carparts.com. Took a week to get here, but a lot cheaper than going to the local parts store. So let's get to work. Let's put the new one back in. Okay, so I've got the action camera looking up at this little plug-in, and you can see the oil that's in those little ports. So we definitely need to flush this out. So I'm going to load this syringe up with the 91% alcohol. And I love using this 91% alcohol because it's not near as bad for you when it gets on your skin. And I certainly don't want to get anything in my eyes, but I'd rather it be this than brake parts cleaner or carb cleaner. But I'm just going to put the tube inside the port and then plunge that alcohol in there and just flush out that oil. Now that we got that cleaned out, I'm going to thread on by hand the new oil pressure sensor, oil pressure switch, and then I'm going to use the special socket, that sensor socket, to lock that socket on there, get a few more turns on by hand. Then eventually you can get that ratchet locked on there. Now, just for reference, the torque value on this is 8 foot-pounds or 96 inch-pounds. I wasn't able to get my torque wrench on there, but just know that 8 foot-pounds is just snug. Treat it like it's a spark plug. Don't overdo it on this sensor, because it is just that. It is a sensor. Okay, now we can reconnect this wire bundle. And now I'm going to thread on the oil filter housing, and this oil filter housing is 18 foot-pounds, 216 inch-pounds. And just for reference, 18 foot-pounds, that's snug and then a little bit. Now I'm going to disconnect the wire that is supporting the compressor, because we're going to get the compressor put back in place. That is those 3 long 1/2-inch bolts. And just like you took it off, this is going to be a variety of 1/2-inch sockets, as well as solid wrenches or ratcheting wrenches if you have those. But the compressor is going to be 30 foot-pounds. And I wasn't able to get a torque wrench on everything. So 30 foot-pounds, this is an accessory part. You can get that tight. If you don't have a torque wrench, that's fine. Just get it tight. It was much easier getting all these parts back on than it was to take them off. Now, there was a wire that I had to disconnect from the compressor. I couldn't get a video of me removing it, but I'm going to show you this little wire. You can see I'm going to plug it back in, and this one was rather kind of brittle, actually. So here in a minute I'm going to zip tie that over to the side to make sure it's not rubbing against anything. But we're going to get this oil filter back on. I'm going to clean the surface and then spin that oil filter back on, and then I'm going to use a zip tie just to make sure that wire is not rubbing against anything. And now that the compressor is back in place, we can actually put the 5/8 wrench back on the tensioner. And we're going to try to get that belt lined up. Again, with this, just make sure that it's locked on there very solid, because you don't want it to slip off as you put all that pressure on there. That's horrible when that happens. So I'm probably going to use the two. Yep, I'm going to use the 2 wrenches on there. That just allows a little bit more leverage, so I'm not shaking so much whenever I pull that tensioner back. So I'm going to just pull that tension and relieve the tension rather, and get that belt. Just make sure that the edge of the belt isn't over top of one of the edges of those pulleys. Just make sure it's locked on there real good before you release the tension. But we're good to go now. I did a little check just to make sure that it locked on there well. Now I can start taking down this. This is the wheel well splash guard. Just use a little bit of wire to tie that up. And that just kind of folds back in place. You can see that little fault line, that crease up there in the top. But the plastic part actually goes in behind that little fin, little metal fin in the body. And I'm going to push in these 2 plastic body clips. I'm not going to fully engage them though, not yet. I need to make sure that those little 3 9/32 screws go in before I engage those. But now that I have these 3 screws in, I feel confident I can push these little pins in place now. And there's 2 on the bottom. There's actually 1 in the top right hand corner right there. I didn't get a video of that, but now I'm going to work on putting on the undercarriage, that undercarriage splash guard. And I'm putting these 2 pins in first before I go after those 10 millimeters underneath. It just helps hold it in place. Now we can get that front passenger tire on. I like to just get a thread or 2, those nuts on there before I get the air tool after it. And we can reconnect the battery now. That's that 10 millimeter. Reconnect the battery. And once we get that battery connected, this is a little air duct. Just slides into that, and there's 2 little pins, 90-degree turns to the right, and that's it. We're done. And just so you know, I did take this for a test drive for about 30 or 45 minutes, and it solved the problem. So that was definitely the culprit. I kind of feel like it was the oil that fouled out that plug, but nonetheless, there's a new part in there now, and it worked out well. So that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching.